dive on it.
This is twice now the Celtics have been first to the floor. They try to save with Horford. Unbelievable.
Boston first to the floor. So good. Brown fakes, fires up the three. Bang! Tatum dives on the floor. Everybody dives. Jaylen Brown with the flush. Blocked by Porzingis. He's doing it all. Tatum spinning, driving, layup. Washington drives. Blocked by White. Oh, what a block from Derek White.
All right, welcome in. First to the Floor podcast. Ben Vallis here, along with Jake Eisenberg. Jake, an emergency podcast. Yes, the Celtics played the Mavs today. We will get to that slightly later in the week. The big news to get to, and we got to this as soon as we could, early evening time here in Australia, is that the Boston Celtics have traded Anthony Simons, the Inferno, to the Chicago Bulls for Nikola Vučević. You would think satisfyingly plugging their need for rebounding and a big man, but already on the Twitter sphere, on the Reddits, incredibly divisive trade. Jake Eisenberg, how's it going?
Hello. Brad Stevens. Again, with the trade that no one saw coming. And it is definitely divisive. There are some passionate people. Mostly, I would say the most passionate are the people that hate the trade.
Mm-hmm.
I.e. Steven in the chat is ready to... Yeah. He's been
get him on the pod,
holding everybody to account across the Discord, across the podcast sphere. Just as Anthony Simons worked his way into my heart, Ben, Brad Stevens lets him free.
So, sorry, I'll let you finish, and then I'm just going to start peppering you with questions because I've been thinking about this all day at work with no one to speak to, and I've got a lot to get off. I think our collective chests probably, but let's just get your initial take on the trade, and then we can do some back and forth.
All right, you sound apparently you're quiet compared to me, so turn yourself up. Firstly, Celtics receive Nikola Vučević and the Denver's second round pick. The Bulls receive Anthony Simons and the Pelicans' second round pick, which is really disappointing. Mm-hmm. That's probably the thing that people are most upset about, is losing the Pelicans pick in this trade. The Celtics create a new $27 million trade exception, which that gets the people going. Nothing gets the people going like a big, juicy TPE that's never going to get used or get used in this way, because we just used some other big, the KP TPE to take in Vooch and now use Simons to create a big new one.
Yep.
For this season, I think the team is better now. Assuming Jayson Tatum comes back, to replace Anthony Simons' creation and scoring, and your big man rotation gets a boost in depth, and potentially you've just acquired someone who's like a super Gaza.
Yeah, that was my initial takeaway, that if you are happy with the Luke Gaza experience as it currently exists, then you should be more than comfortable with the Nikola Vučević experience as well. And there's a lot to get into. I think it is an indication, and we've needed one of these, that Jayson Tatum is maybe more likely than not to return as well, in terms of, from a chemistry perspective, who people are telling me to get louder in the chat. I'll look at this next time I stop talking, which should hopefully be soon. I think, and let me know what you think, Jake. I think this indicates more directionally that we're heading towards a Jayson Tatum return.
I think so. The fact that right now you have two guards that are playable, Derek White and Peyton Pritchard, and holy shit, Peyton Pritchard loves coming off the bench.
Yeah,
he was incredible tonight against the Mavericks. So that's maybe the way to do it. But yeah, you need basically someone to replace the ball handling and the creation. And I think that, like, if Jayson Tatum wasn't coming back, then I think you need Anthony Simons more than you need Nikola Vučević.
Mm-hmm.
However, if you do have Jayson Tatum, then this year's Celtics team is better off having Nikola Vučević than Anthony Simons, just because like Tatum's going to absorb so many of the ball handling responsibilities. I really wanted to see what it looked like with Anthony Simons and Tatum. I thought it would be electric, but Vučević is a really good offensive player. Now, this is all true. For this season, I think it makes the Celtics better. And I think that Vučević can come in and get the Boston Celtics bump and play some of the best basketball he's played in years. 39% three-point shooter across the last 2 seasons. Can't defend a lick. I think that's a fact.
Is he
rebounding?
That bad? I haven't looked at the stats, and everyone everywhere says that he's like maybe the worst big man defender in the league currently.
Like Steven shared some rim protection stats in the Discord just before, and they're slightly better than Gaza's, but basically the same. Maybe, yeah, they're basically the same. So
it's troubling.
Depends on what you think about Luka Garza's rim protection, which we've covered pretty extensively. Not good whatsoever, really. So offensively, big boost, but it is hard, man. Like Luka Garza comes in and again plays awesome tonight. Like 4 for 4 from 3, battling on the glass. And I'm watching it and I'm like, how much better is Vuč really going to be than Garza? And maybe he will be maybe he will. Like you get the Celtics exchange rate where Garza hasn't been able to get on the court in Minnesota, comes in and is now like a legit offensive player. Vuč has been a very good offensive player for a very long time. Does he come in and he's like a really good decision maker and passer. And in this offense, in the shot roll, I think he can, I think him and Derek White could do some good stuff together. I think the high level cope response to this is Nikola Vučević can give you 75% of Kristaps Porzingis, but he plays basketball games.
Yeah. So he's played a lot of games the last few seasons, right?
Yes, 73 last season, 76 before that, 82, 73, 70, 62, 80. That's like the last 7 years. Plays a shitload of games. Very, very, very durable. So from that point of view, like he's not anywhere close to as good as Porzingis as a post-up guy. But as we saw in the playoffs, Kristaps Porzingis is not a good post-up guy when it matters either. Mm-hmm. So at least you get another offensive player that you can go to if Cater gets into foul trouble. Now, I think the reality, if like we're going to be honest about the trade, is it's probably more about saving money than it is about making the team better. And that's when giving up the Pelicans pick is frustrating and hurts for 2 reasons. One, you're getting off a real asset in order just to save money. And maybe this is the first sign of Billy C thinking about his pockets. And like second, what was the other thing that I was just about to say? As far as like building a team that can actually win the title, you probably want that Pelicans pick to help you do it. Whether it's like drafting another Hugo Gonzalez, or is it using that pick to bundle it with something else and really bring in an impact player.
Sure.
And maybe I'm wrong and Vučević is going to come in and really, really improve and be really, really impactful. But he's 36 years old. And the reality is like, how much is he helping you in next year's playoff run? Probably not much. Maybe he helps you in the regular season. Like if they re-sign him at 2 for 10 in the offseason, no harm, no foul. That's totally fine. But I think where it's important to be honest about the move is that it's like, I think it was mostly about saving money and disguised as improving the big man rotation. And 2, the Pelicans pick could have been the 32nd pick in the draft. And we've seen what Brad Stevens can do in the 28 to 32 range. Or the 37 range between Jordan Walsh, Hugo Gonzalez, Baylor Scheinman, another guy that can help you. That's, I think, a fair criticism of the deal. It's like we kind of gave up a real asset for a guy that's probably not going to help us win a title.
Yeah, I think that's a fair takeaway. And I was just wrapping my head around Anthony Simons as well, like just getting used to the notion that he was a impactful Celtic and he did the old man in the 3 pod, and it seemed like there was this real integration going on with him and this real growth and development, and he's defensive stats were becoming neutral-ish. But at the same time, I understand why they made this move, because it does just add like balance to the roster as well, and does, like you touched on, complement a team where theoretically Jayson Tatum is returning as well. I think, like, I was curious. I think we're all curious to see what that tandem would look like with Tatum and Anthony Simons on the court together. But I think ultimately, if you had to choose like a duo, not that that's what the game is about, like you would choose Tatum and a big who can like roll a little bit, can post up a little bit, not that much, and more importantly, like can pop and contribute to the overall spacing. And like we've seen, when the floor, or the paint rather, opens up for Jayson Tatum and he's got multiple kick out options, that's where the Celtics offense can be like a really well-oiled machine. So I think it contributes well to that. Jake, maybe I've got all my stuff turned up as loud as possible. Maybe we have to turn you down a little bit.
Turn me down.
I have changed computers, and this is my first pod on a new machine, so apologies for the technical issues. Subscribe to the audio podcast, though, because we iron all this shit out, make it nice and smooth sounding for the audio pod. So if you're not enjoying, and I can hear in my headphones that I don't sound great, so apologies, but we'll fix it up for the next show. So the tax bill.
No one's more upset about Ben sounding bad than Ben. So
I will
that's
not sleep tonight.
Yeah, so just know that if you're having a bad time, Ben's having a worse time.
Yeah,
which
not
is
sure what's going on.
All that really matters. But yeah, Vuč, good rebounder. You know how much I'm a rebounding sicko. Really good on the defensive glass. Big, long, gets in there, finishes possessions. And if that's something that he comes in and helps, then like maybe then that can mitigate some of the defensive limitations. I'm not sure. But now the other piece of this, to the people that are really upset, like, I'll be honest, this has not made me feel very emotional either way. Like, I knew Anthony Simons for 50 games of my life. I spent the first 25 shitting on him. I spent the next 12 warming up to him, and the final 10 being like, I like this guy, and I think that he could actually help us win some games in the playoffs. But at the end of the day, the value that he had around the league was clearly still very low. Mm-hmm. The fact that in this deal, the Celtics had to give up the Pelicans pick to get off Anthony Simons for someone like Vučević, who's 36 on a big contract and expiring as well, is pretty surprising to me, considering how well Simons has been playing lately. But from all reports, like, it was reported that Brad Stevens offered Simons a first-round pick and a swap for Ivica Zubac, no dice. And I just wouldn't be comfortable giving up a third first-round pick, a third pick for Zubac. It's too much. So I love that Brad got relatively aggressive in trying to make a move like that. It sounds like he sniffed around Jaren Jackson too.
That's what reports are saying.
Doing his due diligence. So I think on one hand, maybe we're being a little too precious about the Pelicans pick when you still own your own 2026 pick.
And you have a Bucks second rounder as well.
I would have to check that quickly. But like right now we have the 24th overall pick, and that's probably around where it's going to fall. And we're already developing Hugo Gonzalez and Baylor Scheinman and Jordan Walsh. And like, how many guys can you really develop? Like there's only Amari Williams, Max the Sugarnator. But at the same time, you always want more draft picks because it's fun.
Yeah.
But yeah,
I'm happy for Billy C saving a little bit of money, and like it's not like we're not going to duck the tax, because you have to duck it for multiple years, I think, to avoid ultimately like long-term repeater penalties. And
could duck it next year as well, though.
Yeah, but I mean, surely not. Like JB is going to be 30, going on 31. Like JT is going to be coming off an Achilles tear, rocketing towards 30 years old. It just doesn't seem like a time to chill and go under the tax. Okay, cool. Okay. We've got a Bucks second as well, which apparently
that definitely,
I mean, obviously is quite good given the state of the Bucks.
That definitely makes me feel better.
Yeah, I don't think it should be alarm bells about the financial direction. I just do not believe that Billy C is going to keep us aim for under the tax and then keep us there for multiple years while both the Jays are in their prime. Like, that's just bad business. I mean, it's technically good business from a financial perspective, but bad business on a lot of fronts.
Well, we're going to find out, because the way to get out of the tax this season is trading Hauser now. And if he was to trade Hauser for like a minimum guy who's bad, that would be like time for a riot, basically.
Yeah, sell the team.
To Rivens, what's the poison? Sorry to disappoint you. This is pomegranate juice. It's like good for your body as opposed to bad for your body.
This is a beer if it makes you feel better.
Yeah, Ben's drinking a beer, so that's right. That's definitely more exciting than my pomegranate juice. Sounds like a fucking Harry Potter drink. Yeah, if I'm being honest. But yeah, so but if you get out of it this season, it's just one more, and you can still be really good while being under the tax. I don't expect them to get under, but we're gonna find out in 2 days. And as a reminder, we're gonna do a live stream for the deadline and talk about more Vuč stuff, any other Celtics trades, talk about fucking James Harden to the Cavs. Like,
yeah,
Jesus, what? Like, at least we didn't trade for James Harden today.
That's
what
true.
a disaster! Holy
just
shit!
What a way to dig yourself out of your playoff woes by Cleveland by acquiring James Harden, the playoff GOAT. There's so much to get to that's already happened. It's been like quite an exciting pre-deadline period as well. Typically, like so much occurs right up against that deadline. But we really just wanted to do an emergency pod today, given it is a significant trade for the Boston Celtics, and like we would be remiss to wait and hold on to this and not jump on and give you some reaction. So I'm glad we got the chance to do that. It's interesting that and a couple of people had this report, Jake, that before, this is a report from, I think it's Michael Scotto, before the Celtics tied for second in the East, the Bulls proposed trading Nikola Vučević for Anthony Simons and a Celtics first round pick, which thank fuck the Celtics declined. But that's kind of where the I guess the value was at that point. And I think it speaks to, like, again, we've been harping on about the Celtics player development department all year, and like they did build up Anthony Simons' value, and like credit to Anthony Simons, the man himself, for contributing to that also. But like clear like value increase throughout the year, such that like first round pick seemingly out of the question to begin with, but certainly out of the question at this point in the year.
Yeah, great negotiating, Brad Stevens. Did he do it again? Like, we'll see. Vuč is going to come in, average 20 and 8 in, that's an absurd number, 20 points. But he's going to come in and be good. Everyone's going to forget about the Pelicans pick. We're going to draft an all-star with the 36th overall pick in the Bucks, second round pick. And everything's going to be fine. Jayson Tatum's going to come back, look good. And any people upset about the loss of the Pelicans pick or the sadness of losing Anthony Simons, who did grow on me and had really helped us win a handful of games. Like, at least I would give him at least 3 games that if he wasn't on the team at all and you don't replace him with anybody, the Celtics lose. Which maybe that's enough to be like, maybe that's not good enough. But at the end of the day, I'm going to go with 72% of peak Kristaps Porzingis, who will actually play for us in the playoffs. And I'm going to just trust in the Brad Stevens Boston Celtics exchange rate for now. I'm going to let it play out. Too many good things have happened for the Celtics in the past 4 years.
I feel like you breezed over the 27.6 mil TPE as well. Like, you have that as an asset essentially on top of Vučević, who will be, I think, like at least an equal contributor to that of Anthony Simons. So you sort of, obviously different positionally, but you maintain that contribution, especially offensively. Not that Anthony Simons was giving us much defensively. And you have this now like bigger TPE, bigger than the Porzingis TPE. You have this huge TPE that at some point, you know, we've been living this TPE life since back in the Hayward days. So we know all about it. And we know that it just
Who's the best player we've acquired with the TPE, do you think?
Evan
Fournier?
The best player that we've acquired through TPEs is in our future, Jake, evidently. Because we
who we
keep
should bring
manufacturing
back?
additional TPEs.
You know who we need to bring back is Georges Niang, who is now he's now on the Grizzlies. Now, another thing, so we're out of the first apron now as well, which means that we're allowed to sign buyout guys that make at least 14 million.
That's right.
So, Georges Niang, welcome home.
Definitely a buyout candidate.
Look at what happened to the Cleveland Cavaliers once they got rid of Georges Niang. It's been a disaster ever since. The dude's a
Good point.
winning player.
I really
Bradley
enjoyed his
Beal.
time in Boston.
Man, everybody was so mad about Georges
Let's do it
Niang
again.
being on the Celtics. So that's something to keep an eye on when Al Horford gets bought out. Oh, we didn't get Fournier with the TPE. I just remember it was like 2 second-round picks.
Yeah, it was during one of the harsher TPE climates, if I remember. So you can be forgiven for thinking that. We were on the hunt with a TPE at the time, although we seem to be perpetually in that state.
There was a big one that I thought that we spent like 2 months agonizing over all the players that could fit into it. And then I think we traded for Malcolm Brogdon instead, which just wasn't part of the TPE life at all. But I see Bradley Beal in the chat. I'm pretty sure he's got a season-ending injury. Career-ending potentially, yeah. But so I'm not sure. How about this? Do you think Brad's done? Is this it?
No.
Is there a bigger fish? Will Giannis be on the Celtics come Friday morning Australia time at 10 a.m.?
It sounds like he's shipping up to Minnesota from what I hear. I think Chris Boucher, not in the big fish category, certainly on the move. I think we're going to see some version of a move as a result of that. I think there's maybe, unless you're just happy with the Peyton Pritchard off the bench, way of things, which was great against the Mavs last night. But I think maybe there's a bit of a gap in ball handling abilities right now on the team. So it'd be interesting to see if Brad
give him
tries
to Walsh.
plug that hole.
Give him to Walsh. Give him to
Baylor,
Ugo.
NBA starter Baylor Shireman. Utility guy.
So this is the thing. Baylor Shireman's good now.
Yeah.
So if Baylor Shireman's good, then I just have to assume that Vučević is going to be an All-NBA player for the next 40 games.
Yeah, I was kind of avoiding. I'm glad you took it there because I feel like it's very typical of me to be like, well, he's a Celtic now, so like obviously he's going to be like 25% more awesome than he's ever been. But like, how many times do we have to see that actually happen before we just like assume that that's always going to be the case?
Well, like I pushed back on it, I think, in the last kind of basically before this season. I was like, okay, I'm pushing back a little bit. Drew Holiday was always awesome. He got to play the perfect kind of role here. I don't know. I was trying to be not too homery, but this season is stupid. Okay, Chris Boucher, not a hit. Xavier Tillman is still surviving on the Boston Celtics somehow, but we'll always have Game 3 of the NBA Finals. So can you say that didn't work? Baylor Shireman, Ugo Gonzalez, Jordan Walsh, Neemias Queta, Luka Garza. The whole team is made up of guys that were supposed to be the reason we were picking in the lottery. And now we're on pace to win 50 games. So I think Vučević is going to be better than the detractors say and probably not quite as good. I'll be honest. I haven't seen that many people that are like, Brad got his guy. Future center of the Boston Celtics has been acquired.
I haven't done the research yet. I need to do the stat, because I'm always looking for that angle, the praise Brad angle. But I know there are a lot of people out there who fly that way as well, and I haven't seen really anything out there to suggest like a positive spin on this trade. I think like the way to do that is you look at the financial savings, you look at the roster balance positionally, you look at the TPE generation, and I think like just from a culture standpoint as well, like I can't say this enough. You look at the starting point and the end point in terms of Anthony Simon's tenure as a Celtic as well, and how well that reflects on the organization. And then it seems, obviously early days now, it seems like a very amicable, like transactional parting of ways as well. Like there's obviously, we've seen some nasty transactions and trades in the NBA, and this just feels, I don't know if you saw like JB's words about Anthony Simons in the post game. Like it's just all positive vibes, even when it comes to an end. So I think there's a lot of good to see in this trade. And like, I don't know if we were going to be relying on, maybe I'm wrong here, but Anthony Simons like digging us out of a hole in the playoffs or I just don't know if we were I think we were pushing quite hard with him in the regular season. I don't know if we could expect that in the playoffs as well. So I don't think we've suffered a massive loss.
No.
And I think we've rearranged the chess pieces around a potential returning Jayson Tatum in a way that I kind of like.
Yeah, I mean, Mitch in the chat says it here as well. I do think some of the fan base has overrated Simons' impact a bit, especially if Tatum comes back. Yeah, agreed. And we've seen the magic that Tatum has been able to make with competent big men. So you think about the boost that he can potentially give to Kader, Gaza, and now Vuč. I like that. Is he a gamer? How does Brad get Turner, Okongwu, Wendell Carter? Yeah, like this. Who knows? Maybe you like that. Is that the move to get under the tax? You flip Vuč for the next, like you basically take the step ladder down. We talked about that in the offseason. It's like Drew Holiday makes your 35 million. Anthony Simons makes your 27. Vuč makes your 21, is it? And then Wendell Carter makes your 12. I don't know all the numbers off the top of my head, but like saving 6 more in another trade doesn't seem impossible. It just means, does that cost you the Bucks second round pick then to do that? And then it's like you just cost yourself 2 picks in the 30s to get under the tax. That would be pretty shitty.
Yeah, that'd be a tough pill to swallow for sure.
But I think your point about like Anthony Simons and plays in general, I think like it's a business at the end of the day, and these guys get it. But fuck, like Simons comes here, plays some of the best basketball of his career on the biggest stage of his career. Hopefully that helps him get another contract. Hopefully he continues to keep doing the little things. And because let's be real, it kind of sucks. You wake up one day, you're the 2 seed or the 3 seed and poised to make a playoff run to you're out of the playoffs.
Yeah. Yeah. Back to Portland East in a way. I shouldn't shit on the Blazers that way, but that's kind of, where they've been at lately, unfortunately. But
like the Blazers are now kind of turned around the last season and this season, and even turnaround is strong. The Bulls are pretty sad state of affairs. Who knows? Maybe Anthony Simons comes back in the on the mid-level exception. But yeah, I did look at Vuč's post-ups today, and it was like 0.84 points per possession or 0.87 points per possession. Not great, but to Steven's point, should be better with our spacing. Yeah. It's like an example of looking for that shine when they come to the Celtics. Like, just a professionally run team. We're gonna get shit done. We're gonna squeeze every ounce of talent out of you. It feels like, and it's Vuč's time. Where is he from? From,
my guess is Bosnia. That's got to be wrong, right?
He went to Stonebridge Prep in California in high school. Oh, Switzerland.
Huh. Don't see many Swiss guys.
And he's only 35. Steven, you've been fucking shitting on this guy all day for being 36. 35 and 103 days. Spring chicken.
If you ask me. I would love to be 35 and 103 days.
Yeah, dude. Well,
my physical prime.
I'll be dead by the time I'm 35, 103 days at this point. Oh, God, people say Montenegro in the chat. Basketball Reference is telling me Switzerland. So
interesting. We'll confirm on the next pod. The chat is very adamant that it is Montenegro. So we'll confirm. Call in if you know. Let us know. We should probably leave it there. We'll do the full live stream on the trade deadline. We'll do the full trade deadline recap. We'll have the stats, all the takes as it pertains to this new Celtic, Nikola Vučević, and how he fits in with the Celtics and what it means for their future prospects. I guess one thing we haven't touched on, we'll end on this, Jake, is like, do you think he'll start? Or do you think it'll be Nehemiah?
No, surely not. Surely
not. I think that in itself has been divisive. Partially, he's had so many good games against us, not in recent history, admittedly, but like I feel my general uninformed like recall on the Vučević experience is like kind of being cooked by him at times. Yeah. It's probably not correct. It's probably more just my nightmarish approach to fandom. But for me, feels like he deserves a start for that very arbitrary reason.
You think he's just going to start?
I don't know. Like, is that crazy that he might start just with his skill set and his floor spacing and his rebounding and just all the Missoula ball aspects of his game?
I think it would be crazy considering how good Kader has been this season. and how impactful he's been defensively. And I'd be really disappointed, I think, if Vuč started over Cater, because going back to like the future thing, Cater has a much higher chance of being our starting center going forward, continuing like 26, 27 years old, continuing to improve, even though it's been very erratic at times this season, especially with the touch. Trust me, having a dude that starts is going to be incredible at like catching the ball. Tommy Heinsohn going to be rolling over in his grave in a good way at how soft the hands of Vučević are. But yeah, Ben getting cold washed in the chat. I think it's two things.
Tells me it's time to wrap it up.
One, there's been some big offensive output. Two, he's been destroyed defensively by the Celtics, but the Celtics destroy everybody, and especially over these last kind of 4 or 5 years. So he probably looks better against worse teams and with a better infrastructure around him. That being said, do not have high expectations for the defensive side of the ball.
Yeah, it's just a weird one to try and wrap your head around. I think from a fan excitement standpoint, I think clearly
it's not exciting.
Yeah, that's the thing. And like, I guess for the last 25 minutes or so, we've tried to manufacture some excitement. The masses clearly skew negative, which, I think it's nice and healthy to have expectations starting at a low point. We had the same thing with Anthony Simons. And look,
it worked
where
this
it
year.
took us. So we'll see. Like I said, we'll leave it there. We'll be back multiple times throughout the week and early into next week to recap the rest of the trade deadline and wrap our heads around the Vučević edition. Jake Eisenberg, this has been a lot of fun. Thanks for hanging out, I should say. Go Celtics, and we'll catch you next time.